Central Illinois is the CI in CI Living.
The new movie Belfast takes us back to the 1960s and what life was like on the Emerald Isle. Film critics Chuck Kaplinski and Pam Powell hear from the cast and director on behind-the-scenes experiences.
I'm going to say something to you that you're going to hear a lot. You were awesome in this movie.
Thank you.
How did you find out you got the job?
Well, I remember when the email came through, I ran around my house screaming for about 5 minutes. And I didn't even get halfway through the email, and I read it all, and I found out who would be in it. And I was amazed because my mum and dad knew all these actors, and I knew some of them as well. And it was just crazy.
Which ones did you know?
Yeah, it was just crazy.
Can you talk about the process and filming the everlasting love sequence on set?
Well, I can just briefly say that Alita, our choreographer, was involved, but I essentially handed it over to the brilliant and beautiful Katrina Balfe and Jamie Dornan. So tell us, how was it? I know you rehearsed a lot.
Well, we had to. I mean, yeah, I would venture to say neither Jamie or I are natural dancers. Maybe Jamie more than me. No, it was, I mean, beautiful choreography by Alita. We were shooting a lot of the time in a heat wave. So there was many sweaty sessions of dance rehearsals where we were learning this choreography in like 35 Celsius. But I think it comes at such an important part in the story, and for Ma and Pa, you know, for these two characters, it's really where the stresses on their marriage have sort of come to a height. And I think it really needed this moment for them to remember the foundation of love that they have for each other. And I think that's what's the most powerful thing in that scene is you see that despite all the things that are happening around them, these are two people who love each other so purely. And then, of course, the wonderful singing by Jamie Dornan.
Well, listen, I'll tell you what was a godsend that day was that the vocal I recorded for it, we did it after the production, so I wasn't having to sing live. It wasn't like, you know, Les Miserables or whatever, where they're all singing live. I don't think I would have survived the day if I had to do that. It was hard enough trying to lip sync in time on the day and deal with the dance moves and all the emotion that was wrapped up in that moment. And I agree with Katrina in terms of like the release of it. I feel it comes at a time in that movie where you've been through so many difficult moments, and suddenly there's this joyous release, and it's vitally important, and to see it through his eyes. And you know, that day was filled with terror, really, and fear. But I was just getting so much back from this one, and from this one, and everyone. It was, you know, obviously Kieran was like the only one who wasn't with us that day.
I couldn't be bothered turning up.
He wouldn't even lie in the coffin. It was really, you know, strange. But it felt like, you know, bar Kieran, the whole gang were there, and it was very special, and it will be a day I'll never forget that day. You know.
Chuck Kaplinski, WCIA TV, Real Talk with Chuck and Pam. Thank you. What you've done has given us a real gift, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Brown, what happens next? How did your family adjust to the move? We know what happened with your life, but how did your family, your parents, deal with the move and the adjustment, and your brother as well?
It was tough, I'll be honest with you. It was tough. I think that the sacrifice that Katrina so beautifully describes in the scene on the bus had its impact. I think that the first part of life was the illustration of the idea that it takes a village to raise a child, and then the village wasn't there, and safety was there, protection from violence was there, and economic opportunity was there, but the yeah, that I think it was tremendously hard for everybody. And one of the reasons that, you know, it's such a stupid and obvious thing to say, one of the reasons to do the film was we never ever talked about it. We just didn't. They were so certain. They so wanted to make the sacrifice work. You couldn't look back. Plus, an Irish thing is don't dwell, don't indulge. Other people are always worse off. So forget about your suffering. It isn't suffering. Listen, you got a chance, you got a job, you got to go, you got out. She said go, you know, and so get on with it. But 50 years on, I needed to. But it was tough for them. In the end, they had beautiful moments. But you give something up. There's no question. And what they gave up was significant. But they were very lucky and blessed in all sorts of other ways.